Question 6. The digits 2, 0, 2, and 3 are placed in the expression below, one digit per box. What is the maximum possible value of the expression? So this question is talking about power. And I want to start from some introduction on how power works. Power is generally expressed as A power of B, which means A times A times A, and we have BA's timed together. It's a little abstract, so let's use some examples. The one you probably have seen before is square. So if you have A as 3, B as 2, this is 3 square. Or another way to talk about it is this is 3 power of 2, which means you have 2 3's timed together and you will get 9. And 3 power 4 means you have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 equal to 81. Exactly. Now you get the point. This can be expanded even further, for example, negative powers or fraction powers, which we'll skip for now. For future harder questions, we may go deeper into them. But for this question, we need to talk about a very specific power. That is power of 0. So for example, continue on this. If you have 3 power of 1, well, I still understand it, right? You have 1 3. And there's nothing else to time it against, so this is basically 3. But what is 3 power of 0? There's nothing here. So this is totally a mathematical definition. One way to understand it is when you do this sort of power calculations, you start from 1. And then you multiply by 3 if you have 3 power 1. 3 squared, then you multiply by 3 for 2 times. So you start from 1, and that's something you will need to remember for this definition of power. Any number, as long as it's not 0, the power of 0 is going to be equal to 1, as long as A is not equal to 0. If A is 0, 0 power 0 is 0. But, for example, if you have 5 power 0, it's equal to 1. 6 power 0, it's equal to 1. All right, so that is the context of how power works. Now let's go back to the question. We have 2, 0, 2, 3, and you want to get a maximum possible value. Well, what quickly gets your attention from those 4 numbers, 2, 0, 2, 3, which is basically the year of this test? I would say it's 0 which gets your attention, because 0 is special. Firstly, if 0 appear in any of those big square, that means we are going to get a 0, because 0's power of whatever is going to be 0, and 0 times another number is going to be 0. So that's the first thing you will figure out, or you will pay attention to. That is, I cannot have 0 in the big box, which is the base, which is the A. Instead, I can only have it as a power. So with 0 as a power, you know the first term is going to be a 1. No matter which number is in the big box. Well, you have 2, 2, and 3 left. Given that you want this number to be as big as possible, right? You want this expression's maximum possible value. technically whatever number I put here is going to be wasted. It's going to be 1 anyway, so I'm going to put 2 here because 2 is smaller. I want to save my 3 for a slightly larger value. So the first part is done, 2 power 0, which is equal to 1. Now for what's remaining, you basically have two choices, 3 power 2 or 2 power 3. Well, what is 3 power 2? 3 power 2 is 3 times 3, so that is 9. What is 2 power 3? 2 power 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And 9 is larger than 8. So I am going to put 3 here and 2 as the power. And this whole thing is equal to 1 times 9 equal to 9. The answer is